Hey, beautiful souls, and welcome to Around the Kitchen Table, a space for honest conversations, stories from the heart, and gentle reminders that we're all walking each other home. I'm Laura Island, mother, creative, soul-led CEO of Sacred Sister CIC, and the woman behind Wise Sacred Woman. I'm a witch with ADHD, and this podcast is where we gather to share the real, raw and radiant parts of life. Each week, we'll explore what it means to live in rhythm with ourselves, with nature and with one another. We'll talk about womanhood, sisterhood, creativity, leadership, spirituality, and the messy magic of being a human. So pour yourself a cuppa, get comfy, and let's meet here around the kitchen table, where stories are medicine and every voice belongs. So, welcome. Welcome to Boxing Day. It's a Friday. I wasn't planning to do an episode of Around the Kitchen Table today. My day's kind of changed to how I expected it to be. I'm currently outside, having walked up a big hill in a sheltered spot from the wind, with the sun on my face. If I show you, this is my view. And I've not been to this spot before, but I just found it and thought, do you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I will just record for you today. Spot over here, maybe. I don't know whether you'll be able to hear me very well. I don't know how the sound will be. There's nothing perfect about this moment other than the moment itself. So, how's your Christmas been? Mine has been beautiful, hard, connected, disconnected, all of the things and all of the moments. So I thought I would jump on and share a little bit with you, because there's this expectation often that these moments these holidays, these times with family together should be perfect, should be loving, should be kind, should be held, should be expressed. Getting warm now. Somehow we have these big asks of ourselves that people that maybe we don't spend much time with, people that maybe don't really understand us, people that were the very ones who created some of our wounds and our trauma, suddenly we're all thrown together and we expect it to be okay. And I was walking along the beach just now thinking, look at all these people, look at all these people that look just normal, that are just having this beautiful kind of time, whilst I've got tears streaming down my face and snot, and wondering why I can't be normal. And my husband reminded me that they're not normal, they're just all masking. They're just doing their thing, going about their day, and mostly not really being honest with themselves about what's really moving them. So what's happened for me is that my parents came. They were supposed to be here till tomorrow. And this morning they made the decision to go home. Now, I'm not surprised by that. That's usually their way. A couple of days, that's enough. In fact, they haven't been to my home for years. But they wanted to come for Christmas, and that's all beautiful. And they came, my daughter's birthday is Christmas Eve, so they spent her birthday with her, which is only the second time in her life for 15 years that they've spent her birthday with her. And so all of that has been precious and beautiful. But they're getting older. They're both 75. My mum isn't in good health, and my dad is still truck driving at 75. And people think, wow, he's amazing. And he is amazing. But actually, he admitted this morning that he's totally in fear. He's totally in fear of stopping because everyone he knows that stops has died, many of them recently. Somebody running with their dogs. And so he is in total and utter fear of stopping, because what happens if he stops and then that's it, game over. What was beautiful was my dad would never have spoken in that way with me. He's always, he's often not been that present because he's been working his my whole life. Miss birthdays, miss Christmases. And he recognized this morning, he was like, if people think I've got a hard life, he said, but actually my life was easy. Your mum was the one who had to stay at home and raise you guys and look after the kids and the house and make sure everything was okay. It's so powerfully beautiful listening to my dad recognize that. It was hard for my mum. And now my mum is not well and my dad's kind of looking after my mum. And anyway, this morning when I woke up, they both kind of sleep on sitting up in the sofa. They don't go to bed. They watch telly most of the night on and off and snooze on and off. And it's just their way. And I got up this morning and my mum said, do you mind if we went home today? And she cried. Now my mum never cries. I think in all of my life, 50 years, I've probably maybe seen my mum cry once. We've been through deaths and bereavements and tragedies, but she's always held it together the same way as I was told her to hold it together. And she cried. And she didn't want to let me down. But she also showed me her vulnerability and her fear that she's so concerned for my dad because he's getting older and he was up in the night a bit confused and he's out of his comfort zone, he's out of his own space. And she just needed to get home and back to her safety net, her space, her place where she could feel comfortable and she could connect in with herself. And from that place, she was able to lean in and do what she needed. So there you go.
I'm so tall. You're not going to make it. Where? Ready? Come on. Do a jump with me. Come on. Come on. Jump. Just jump really high.
So I can't help but laugh. I just had to pause and stop for a moment. I'm having this deep moment with myself, and this is life, right? I'm having this deep moment with myself, and you might have heard a couple of girls came along with their chihuahuas and sat right there on the bench next to me, whilst I'm literally sitting here, clearly in the middle of something, which is absolutely fine. I'm out here in the public, right? Of course that happens, but it just made me laugh, and then they were just waffling away, and and I went to connect with something on my phone and it recorded something that they were showing, and it just made me laugh. Anyway, the whole thing just made me laugh, and now I just went to hit record again. There's kids screaming in the background, and I'm just like, this is the reality of every sacred moment that you go through. It's like, the deep work isn't done in therapy. It's not done in a closed room where the door is shut and there's you and a therapist. The deep work is like, what do you live every day? What do you live every day? Like, anything is deeply there for the healing if you choose it. So anyway, where was I before we got really interrupted? My mum probably didn't need to tell you much more of that story anyway. They've gone, but before they went, I had a really beautiful conversation with both of them and said, how would it be to just start to be really real with each other? to just not pussyfoot around, like to actually speak to what's going on. And I reminded my mum that, my dad is, it's a part of my dad that's stuck as a 6-year-old boy, scared shitless of what's going to happen when his dad comes home at night, And there's a part of my mum that's kind of doesn't want to upset anybody, doesn't want to let anyone down, doesn't want to show her emotions because she's got to pull it all together. And how would it be just to drop that and start to live from a really authentic place? Yeah, you might piss each other off. Yeah, you might upset each other, but just be real and sharing with them that, actually none of this is a reflection on them. How I choose to live my life isn't a reflection on them. It's me healing the wounds that kind of came along generation to generation to generation, and me being the one that says no more. They made a comment about kind of my daughter when she was having a little meltdown yesterday, and I was like, but that's because we're her safe space. Of course she's going to have a little meltdown. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. So it was interesting. It was a whole interesting journey anyway. They've gone home. So I decided to bring myself out for a walk. I walked along a little bit with my husband before he went off to get my daughter. He and I had some beautiful, deep conversations, which also trigger so much for me because, without recognizing it, he does similar things. He shuts me down at times, not purposely, not because there's something going on, but just because that's life. It's like we're all busy feeling like we're listening, but actually every time we're triggered by something, our defenses pop up, and so therefore we're responding from that defensive place. So the beautiful thing with him is that we recognize that and we do something about it, and we connect with from that place of what's moving us, allows us to be in our space. So I had some tears, and he wandered off, and he wandered off to go back to get Gracie. But before that, we found a wing on the beach. So he took that home for me. I will look after that, turn it into something magical. And then I kept walking, and I bumped into a lady, started chatting with a lady who has a friend who volunteers at the church, which I'm walking up to, which is on top of a hill. It's just been a magical day. And that's my life. My life is like that. And that's not because my life is unusual. It's because I live by noticing the signs, the things that are coming, the flow of life. So here I am, sat at the top of a hill, sat in this little nook where it's not so windy, laughing at the power of life and the connections, wondering what's going to happen next and being completely okay with it. But laughing at this kind of moment of, this is sisterhood. This is the way we show up in the world. The messy, the raw, the real, the deeply connected, the disconnected, the numb. I'm so fortunate that I have created the most amazing community of women. And this morning, just witnessing in their founding members group the depth of how they are supporting each other through the toughest things that are coming up for them over the last few days. Not because the world is hard or things are shit, because they're willing and prepared to not be surface level. They're willing and prepared to go, do you know what? This was really tough. And sit with it and be with it and be with the uncomfortable feelings so that they can acknowledge them, because awareness precedes change. And if we don't begin to really become aware of what we're feeling and sensing in every moment, then where are we going as a humanity, as a kind of way of being? What are we teaching our kids? Just to keep hiding and shutting things down and masking because it's not okay? And yeah, I totally understand. I come from a very neurodivergent family, but do I? Or do I just come from a family that's trying to live their life the best way they can? And sometimes it's a bit confusing. Anyway, all of that said, I am now leaning into the magic of the next week, I guess it will be, running up to the full moon. I don't do my New Year's resolutions on the 1st of January. I lean into our sacred pause and the time that it takes to kind of lean into what are we really doing when we look back over the last year, collecting all of those pieces of ourselves and the places that, even if they were really tough, the messages that they delivered us. And from that place, really understanding what that means and what that looks like. and how to connect from that place. Hi there, you all right?
Yes, you.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. And from that place, being able to take the magic from the year that's just been, even if it was the toughest one yet, so that we can lean forward. So you're not late. If you want to come and join us in the sacred pause, there's still time, because the magic is in this moment, in any moment, in the moments where you show up. I invite you just to take a pause right now, just to breathe, just to connect back in with yourself, and just to check in. What do I need right now? And if what you need is a big long walk and a big stomp up a big hill in the wind, as the sun reflects back at you, then go do that. You don't have to be anything or do anything for anyone else. If we could all just choose in every moment what's right for us, what would that look like? And yeah, sometimes we have to just do what's right for everybody else, because we're part of a family, and family has life, and the kids have an expectation, and so does everybody else. But today, just for now, just for this moment, whenever you're watching this, breathe. Check in with yourself. Notice how you're feeling. And maybe consider what 5 promises could you make to yourself for the year ahead. Maybe it's to go for longer walks. Maybe it's to stop every once in a while. Maybe it's to meditate. Maybe it's to breathe deeper. Maybe it's to put a little bit of money aside every week so you can do something lovely. Maybe it's a promise to yourself just to really trust yourself. There's so many things. So let that be your moment today, or whenever you watch this. If you happen to watch this in the middle of summer 2029, then that will be the joy of when you find me. Right, getting chilly now. The sun's going to start to go down and the sky is so blue. And my fingers are getting cold. Take care of yourself. And if you want to come find me inside the sacred pause or the sanctuary, you've been really welcome. You can find out where both of those things are on our website, sacred-sister.co.uk. Take care. Lots of love. Bye for now.